Hi, my name is Bob Soklos. I'm with SAP in Dallas, Texas, and today I'd like to talk to you for just a few minutes about business agility and innovation with SAP Cloud Platform. First of all, I think it's important that we define what digital transformation means today because it's meant different things over the generations. When we first started computerizing business processes, we were trying to get everything that we did on paper on the computer, and it mostly landed on the mainframe. Then client server came along and we started moving everything off the mainframe, the client server. Then everything got networked together and ultimately the internet took off. And so digital transformation meant something different in the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. Today, I think it means this. You've got all these enterprise systems and you want to make them nimble and adaptable. You want all the data to be real time and you want to create an intelligent environment where the enterprise systems help people get their jobs done. How does this translate to an IT goal? I think it comes down to this. You want real-time, easily adaptable systems that enable quick, integrated innovation. Enterprise-wide data decision-making, not just at the C-level, but to all aspects of your organization, while incorporating new technologies that make things smarter. The problem, of course, is that we've got a lot going on with our enterprise systems. Daily transactions become relational data that gets put into data warehouses, ultimately helping management make decisions with operational reporting, dashboards, and ad hoc queries. The newer data is all the non-transactional events, things like IoT streams. These are semi-structured or unstructured. They get put in these massive data lakes, and we have to use technology like machine learning and AI to try to find the needle in the haystack, that data science that helps us get smarter about how we're doing business across not only our customers, but suppliers and partners as well. The problem, of course, is that our situation is kind of inflexible right now. As we've built up these systems, there's a lot of inflexible processes. The systems are tightly coupled, so if one thing breaks, it tends to break everything downstream as well. The apps are siloed, the data is incompatible, and we're mostly just storing this new unstructured data and not actually getting a lot of value out of it just yet. A good way to visualize this, I think, is kind of a mechanical watch. All these gears intermesh. Everything's tightly coupled, and if you mess with one of the gears, you're likely to compromise the timekeeping of the entire watch. The problem, of course, is complexity. Our systems have become far too complex. And if you imagine our systems to be kind of like a mechanical watch with all these gears intermeshing, it's not quite a Swiss watch. Not all these gears were designed at the exact same time. In essence, each department made individual decisions on what they thought was best for it. So for example, if you have a trucking department, they created a new app for the truckers. The warehouse folks wanted an app to help move pallets around more efficiently. So they created that, kind of a best of breed technology at a point in time. Every department did this, and IT spent all its time making sure that everything worked together. So they glued it together, lots of different data got duplicated and moved around the enterprise. It became a very complex chart. As a result, 80% of IT's budget right now goes to keeping the lights on because there's too much complexity at the infrastructure level, at the applications themselves, the user experience level, and the data level as well. This complexity gets squared when you become a successful company because you acquire more companies. Your core company is already complex, but then you buy another company and they've got their own chart that grew up over the last 30 or 40 years. And then you buy yet another company. So these mergers and acquisitions make everything ever more difficult. On top of everything else, change is accelerating, and this kind of squares that complexity. Gartner Group puts it this way. They believe that business is going to demand 5 times greater the number of applications that IT can deliver with traditional methods. And unfortunately, 3 out of 5 of those apps are going to miss the mark because it takes too long to develop, and there's not an iterative process between the business and the IT department. Gartner believes that by 2020, just 3 years from now or 2 years from now, more than half new business applications are going to be developed with high productivity platforms because that's the only way IT will be able to keep up. If you look at what the innovation cycle looks like, it's a lot easier if you're a new company that just came along, right? So if you're Uber or you're Snapchat, you have a new idea. You then design what that's going to look like, you prototype it, you pilot it, you put it out there for a certain number of folks to use. You get information back and you repeat the cycle a few times, but then you get to a point where you just simply scale and transform that application. However, existing companies have a lot more complexity to deal with, right? They've got complexity at the UX level, the application level, the infrastructure level, and as a result, it's very difficult to innovate and make everything work together. What I believe needs to be done is that we have to change the model from this idea of tightly coupled systems as found in a mechanical watch to one that's more abstracted like an Apple Watch, right? I mean, in an Apple Watch, you can add a new application and never worry about affecting the timekeeping because there's an abstraction layer. There's APIs to make sure that new apps don't affect the core function of the watch. So there is a blueprint for success. It's called bimodal IT. What that really means is, and then all the different consultancies are supporting it with different words, right? It's either called bimodal or two-speed, but the idea is that you've got core functionality, your core systems like finance, like HR. These are your systems of record. They're well understood. They move kind of slowly. You make sure that there's not a lot of risk associated with your next upgrade. You want to make sure that you report your numbers at the street. Mode 2 is your systems of innovation, where you balance risk versus reward. You want a new app for your truck drivers? As long as you can create that app, integrate it with the rest of your enterprise, but not affect the financial numbers you report to the street, you balance that risk and reward. So in SAP's world, Mode 1 systems are best represented by ECC or our newest S4, and Mode 2 is SAP Cloud Platform. So why would you use SCP for your innovation layer? It's because it lets you innovate 5 times faster than traditional methods while keeping those core systems pristine and therefore upgradable. In a chart, it looks like this. You've got a pristine core, you've got secure connectors that ensure security, and you do all your innovation in the Agile cloud around that core system. What we're really trying to do is convert your IT department to be like MacGyver, right? So you got this idea of being able to use all these different pieces and components and do innovation quickly and really go home a hero. This is not mission impossible, no matter how complex your systems are. SAP's got the experience to help because we faced this same problem ourselves. We had core functions that needed upgrades, and some of these upgrades in the back office take a long time. For example, HR is often a project that takes more than a year. At the same time, we wanted to show innovation to our 90,000 employees in the field, so we abstracted that by introducing Cloud Platform. This let us do integration scenarios, microservices, do things in the cloud, and deliver things like take every business process and make it mobile, or create a common Fiori dashboard where people could access systems and have no idea if they're accessing the legacy version of HR or the new version of HR in the cloud. We were then able to add additional technologies like machine learning and chatbots to produce all this innovative stuff at the front end, while the back office we worked on things like core finance and expenses and HR. So the back end got disconnected from the front end, and this abstraction really worked. The result was that our workforce had an integrated experience across every single device. Agile delivery was enabled because now there could be daily deployments and there'd be lots of contributions by development on a daily basis, and it resulted in nonstop innovation. Not only do we have the experience to get this done, we did create this unique platform, which is SAP Cloud Platform. What's the key difference between it and things like Microsoft Azure and Amazon Web Service? SAP Cloud Platform gives the developer every single thing they need to innovate quickly and interconnect seamlessly with the rest of the enterprise. What does it look like in one picture? This is it. You've got everything you need to be MacGyver. You've got connectivity, you've got databases, you've got APIs, you've got security, you've got portal technology. You want to translate your application to French? Sure, we've got that too. You want analytics, you want predictive analytics, all that stuff is in there. And you have different environments pictured here in yellow that help you assemble that into a great solution. What it really does from a benefits perspective is 3 main things. We enable 5 times to 10 times faster development while adding the idea of reusability. If you create something for ECC today and you migrate to S4 tomorrow, that same module will hook right in. You're able to keep those core systems pristine and upgradable so you can take advantage of the next operating system, the next application update that comes out of SAP. And you can integrate both SAP and non-SAP properties by using Cloud Platform. What makes us different is content. If you think about it, every one of these folks, whether we're talking about Google Cloud Platform or Amazon or Microsoft or even SAP, we're selling you a DVD player. The difference is that SAP Cloud Platform actually gives you a movie to play in that. We give you content to interconnect all these things together and have them work. Ultimately, SCP has got extraordinary momentum. We now are over 12,000 customers using it. We're in 17 different data centers. We're providing SAP Cloud Platform on top of the other infrastructure clouds. So SCP is available on Amazon. It is available on Google, and it is available on Microsoft Azure. The momentum with SCP is incredible. Lots of customers are using it. Here's just a few examples. But Exxon, for example, uses SCP to provide talent management for project assignments to their employees. Bosch uses it to connect third-party parking lot operators with its trucking fleet, so the reservations can be made and payments made automatically. The Port of Hamburg uses it to coordinate the cranes, the containers, the boats as they come in, the trucks that take those containers away. So all these third parties are working in an incredible industrial ballet. There's lots of different examples. The bottom line is it's time. Time right now to start innovating or you're going to get disrupted. One of the greatest quotes by Charles Darwin was this one. It's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It's the one that is most adaptable to change. And this very much applies to business today. Harvard professor Clayton Christensen is one of the most well-written guys when it comes to this idea of disruption. The problem is that there's always got to be a leap of faith. You got to break the old way of doing it. You have to take a step forward or you're going to wind up the world passing you by. The model that we have to break today is the IT system model that's too tightly coupled. You have to have this abstraction idea between innovation and core systems. One of my favorite quotes is from Wayne Gretzky. He skates to where the puck is going to be, not where it's been. What this basically means is you have to anticipate the future. And to tell you the truth, it's not that hard. Let me ask you 3 questions. First of all, in the near future, do you believe that enterprise computing is going to be on-premise the traditional way, or does all that stuff move to the cloud because the cloud makes sense and it has economies of scale? I think the answer is the cloud. Are apps going to remain monolithic, standalone apps, or are they going to basically break apart into smaller pieces, reusable microservices and modules that get put together to become the application in the cloud? And third, are we going to continue to just computerize today's processes? Or are we going to apply intelligent technologies like machine learning and AI and text analytics and chatbots to suddenly make workers far more productive? If you answered the way I think you did, it becomes pretty obvious that development should be cloud platform first. The whole trick here is let's break the model. Let's not do this mechanical, tightly wound watch. Let's create a model that looks much more like the Apple Watch, where there's an abstraction layer between core functionality and all the apps that you can add on it. So what are the top reasons to reimagine your business on cloud platform? The big 3 are to abstract your front-end innovation from your back-end digital transformation. To reuse your innovations is magical because you don't keep rewriting that stuff. And you want to use a high productivity platform to get more things done. There's lots of other reasons. SAP knows how to scale. We know how to put things on multi-cloud. We make business integration simple. I'm not going to go through all these, but the whole point is SAP Cloud Platform gets things done for the business. It's not just a matter of moving the same compute that you've always had and just putting it up in some hyperscale cloud. What makes it all different? It's we give you that content to connect it all together. It's the glue, it's the nervous system that makes all these applications work together. If you have any questions, I'll welcome your email. I've got a blog at imacgyver.com that has lots of use cases that I suggest visiting. And if you want to send this presentation to some of your colleagues, go ahead and send the link to yscp.com. Thanks a lot.